PNGTA responds to teachers' pay cuts issue. Abuse of new technologies by youth a concern. And 40 Maseratis for APEC.
This is National EMTV News with Merba Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Wednesday's news. The way new technologies are used today has affected the lives of most youth, adding to increased emotional pressure. These were the words of Papua New Guinea Psychiatric Association President Dr. Uma Ambi in commemoration of World Mental Health Day. Dr. Ambi says there must be a conscious effort made by everyone to the mental health of young people.
The onset and application of new technologies undoubtedly has its benefits. However, it can contribute to pressure and stress in the life of a teenager. PNG Psychiatric Association President Dr. Uma Ambi says these additional pressures and stress can affect their mental health. She explained that when a child is exposed to social networks such as Facebook, they are vulnerable to threats and cyberbullying. This causes stress and can lead to mental illness. She added that young people living in situations such as conflicts, natural disasters and epidemics are vulnerable to mental distress and illness.
Coming to the end, what do youths need? Accurate information. So today I called on all sectors to give accurate information. Whatever you're doing to the youngsters, give accurate information. Help them to give life skills. Okay, life skills are very important. And number 3, counseling. Children need to sit and hear them properly, so counseling is important. Acceptable and affordable health services that could be physical and mental health services.
Dr. Ambi says healthy youths are highly productive, thus reduce the burden in society, and she urged parents to promote healthy lifestyles for their children. She said healthy developed youths who are responsible with life skills will make productive adults and endless progress.
So there is much that can be done to help build mental resilience from the early age to help prevent mental distress and illnesses among the adolescents and youth and adults, and to manage and recover mental illness. So you meet by pick up and you meet by pick up and move on to expand. So investment, so the better understanding of mental health issues will allow us to fight this problem.
Dr. Ambi says the best investment is to invest in children, for it is the best investment for the future. The World Health Day today is celebrated with the theme Young People and Mental Health in a Changing World. Rayon Lakingu, National EMTV News.
The death penalty is practiced by 28 countries in the world, with 105 countries so far abolishing capital punishment. European Union member nations have been at the forefront of campaigning to end capital punishment worldwide. The EU delegation to PNG reiterated their stance today while recognizing the World Day Against Death Penalty.
The European Union has capital punishment behind them, with all 28 member countries abolishing the death penalty. The European Union delegation to Papua New Guinea stands firm in addressing their plight to abolish capital punishment worldwide. The 10th of October 2018 is World Day Against Death Penalty. The EU delegation to PNG marking the day with a media conference, stating that death penalty has no established deterrent effect, but is contrary to the right to life.
We invest enormous amounts of funding to improve health services, first of all, to be able to live longer, to improve nutrition, to improve development, because we all deserve to live better. And this is what we try to do. And in fact, by applying the death penalty, in fact, we contradict somehow ourselves on this regard.
Papua New Guinea had the death penalty in place at the end of 2017, and there are 12 people on death row in Papua New Guinea. The death penalty has not been used in PNG for more than 50 years. Papua New Guinea's last execution was in 1951. The National Executive Council then approved 3 modes of execution: lethal injection, firing squad and hanging, but lack of infrastructure has meant there has been no method to enact capital punishment.
There is a de facto non-application of the sentences so far, but as I said, it's clear that there are still persons in prison sentenced to death now in Papua New Guinea, and there are some sentences that are still the court's rule over the years.
The EU delegation to PNG says they have had positive responses through dialogue with government and through civil society groups on views on capital punishment.
I believe that society is somehow divided. There are some people who talk for, some against. I was very pleased to read a recent article that somebody admitted and said clearly that we are fully aware that we applied, but it's not a deterrent.
But there are areas that need to be considered.
Values, ethics, standards and religious beliefs at the same time. And of course there are different denominations of religions as well, and different beliefs and different way religious beliefs are applied worldwide as well.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV News.
Enga Provincial Police Commander Joseph Tondop is taking the lead in organizing community consultative meetings in the province. Most recently, community leaders agreed to build police capacity in Enga. Recommendations from the meeting will be given to the Enga provincial government to support its long-term development plans after receiving autonomy.
Stakeholders and community leaders in Enga province got together for their second community consultative meeting recently. Community leaders called for immediate actions to have an effective community policing service and public awareness in each district in the province. More importantly, to build police capacity so that every population of 5,000 people will have at least one community police post.
When we address law and order in Enga province, there are three phases. Phase one, about immediate actions by you be taken now. You be all with a group. You know what PPC does all. You know what church.
Community leaders in Enga were urged to return to their villages and create awareness about law and order and convince their people to surrender weapons, drugs and home-brewed alcohol to the police for change to happen. Enga Provincial Administrator Dr. Samson Amian said his administration will be strict on public servants to perform their roles and responsibilities at the highest level.
Making one envelope, family envelopes. You think a good person? Yes, community problem is that. There's a community problem and it's stable away. And it's stable community, you and me.
PPC Tondop said he will provide leadership as the head of police in the province to intervene to maintain peace and stability. His intervention is to minimize tribal fights and election-related fights in the province to allow for autonomy and development in the province. Vastinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Port Moresby police have charged one of the 5 men allegedly involved in the robbery of a hair and beauty salon last month. NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Pero Drano, who confirmed the arrest, says the suspect, Marshall James, was a former employee at the salon. He has been charged on 3 counts relating to the robbery. The incident occurred on September the 14th, where 417 kina was stolen with other personal items, including mobile phones valued up to 2,000 kina. The other 5 men accused of this robbery remain at large.
As you are aware, we also have the armed robbery at Nation Beauty Salon. The suspect has been apprehended by the armed robbery squad, and case is being investigated as we speak. And we hope to have his files ready for him to stand trial to ensure for the armed robbery as well as in possession of firearm and ammunition.
Teachers are paying the cost for a very serious electronic fault in the payroll system. This is according to the PNG Teachers Association. A total of 493 teachers throughout the country have been confirmed to have had deductions to their salary over the last 3 fortnights. According to the Education Department and the Teaching Services Commission, these deductions were made against teachers' loans. PNGTA, on the other hand, is refuting this with the belief that the payroll system was hacked by other parties to get the loans using teachers' names.
The Education Department and the TSC yesterday issued a list with names of the 493 teachers with the amount of loans against them. PNGTA says the list is very suspicious as it is indicated that a teacher in a remote location was getting loans from many different loan companies for a number of reasons. PNGTA General Secretary Ugwalubu Mowana said another issue at hand was the fact that the Education Department, TSC and the government line departments were assuming that the deductions were a result of salary adjustments as a result of the implementation of the 2017 to 2019 Teaching Service Salary Agreement.
The PNG Teachers Association has contested that revelation of loans against the teachers. We believe that many of those 493 teachers' deductions are not related to loans. There are evidences showing that
through an NEC decision, line departments through the Education Department established the schedule for paying outstanding to teachers' salary for Pay 13 and Pay 18. Mr. Mowana said this agreement was breached as it has been revealed that adjustments for Pay 18 were never paid to teachers. However, there were massive random deductions ranging from 10 kina to 400 kina.
The state did not pay the teachers these adjustments. Instead, they started having these pay cuts. So as I speak to you today, and as I speak to the teachers throughout the country, there was a big lie by the state through this schedule, and it was found out that 2018 adjustments have never been paid.
Since Pay 18 of 2018, teachers have been experiencing unexplained deductions from their salary. PNGTA is now demanding for all salary deductions from teachers to be refunded by Pay 21, the salary fixation agreements be implemented in full by Pay 21, audit of teaching positions against teacher numbers must be done to avoid salary bill blowout in budget. All teachers who have been out of payroll be put back on, new graduates be put on payroll, investigate possible fraudulent activity in payroll, and payroll system be managed by a competent payroll administrator.
I am calling on line departments to ensure that outstanding 2018 salaries under the agreement between the independent state of Papua New Guinea and PNG Teachers Association must be paid in full, one-off lump sum by Pay number 21.
Mr. Moana said the association can only advocate for teachers, but the onus was on them to take action on the issue. Charlene Airy, National EMTV News.
The Morobe Education Division salary officers met with teachers in Lae today to address the teachers' pay cut issue. OIC Salaries Nom Nabo told teachers the increment was a one-off increase and the pays were now back to normal. He said the low amounts teachers are getting are due to loans the teachers have.
More than 100 teachers in Lae attended the meeting this afternoon. The officer in charge of salaries, Nom Nabo, told the teachers the pay increment period ended and they are now being paid their normal pay. But this response was less than satisfactory. Mr. Nabo said the difference seen in the pays are not pay cuts.
There is no such thing as a pay cut across the board for all the teachers. There may be some discrepancies to do with salaries due to deductions with their pays. And, there may be other minor issues affecting their salaries.
Over 100 teachers in Lae reported that they've seen 100 to 200 kina being deducted from their pay for more than 3 fortnights. Some have even been paid 7 kina.
And when the pay was cut, it really affected my family.
Today, the teachers came demanding answers for their deductions. Some argued that not every one of them have loans and the amounts they've been getting is absurd. Mr. Nabo told teachers that they should bring their grievances to the salaries office to have their pay slips checked.
we've taken note of some of the issues. We'll get back to office. We'll deal with the cases on a one-to-one basis and see where some of the issues are to do with this.
Lucy Kopana, National MTV News, Leh.
You're watching National MTV News. Still ahead in the news, 40 Maseratis for APEC and a look at the painstaking process of downloading data from the black box of flight PX073. Those stories and more when we come back. Welcome back to the news. The Papua New Guinea government has secured 40 Maseratis to be used during the APEC Leaders Summit in November. These 40 vehicles are super executive sports cars which retail in the European market at around $70,000 or 229,000 kina. Minister responsible for APEC, Justin Chechenko, says these cars are being committed to be paid for by the private sector and are APEC standard.
The first 20 Maseratis were flown into the country on Sunday and the other 20 this morning on Airbag Cargo's Boeing 747 from Italy. These vehicles, which cost close to $70,000 each on the European market, that's equivalent to approximately 229,000 kina, are computerized and will be used to transport world leaders during the Leaders Summit. A statement released from the office of the minister responsible for APEC states that Papua New Guinea is delivering a world-class APEC summit and the PNG APEC authority is ensuring that leaders and dignitaries are transported properly during APEC. The statement further states that having the vehicles paid for by the private sector is the smartest way to have use of the vehicles for APEC and at no overall cost to the state. The total cost of 40 super executive sports cars stands at an estimated $40 million. If converted to PNG currency, it would cost an estimated 1.3 billion kina. In the last 24 hours, the news of the arrival of these cars has created debate on social media, especially Facebook. And the question on everyone's mind is, who is paying for these sports cars and what will happen to them when APEC concludes? Thekla Gunga, National MTV News.
The Chinese government has transferred the ownership of 94 brand new buses and fire trucks to the Papua New Guinea government. The donation is in support of Papua New Guinea hosting the 21 world leaders during the 2018 APEC Leaders Summit in November. Minister responsible for APEC, Justin Chechenko, and Chinese ambassador to PNG, Zhu Bing, signed documents in Port Moresby today for the transfer of ownership.
These are the new buses and fire trucks donated to PNG government by the people of China, all lined up and ready to transport APEC delegates upon arrival, and fire trucks to respond to fire.
Today is a history in making for the fire service of Papua New Guinea. For the first time that we are receiving fire trucks free of charge from the Chinese government. And I would like to thank the Chinese government on behalf of Papua New Guinea.
The Papua New Guinea government is grateful for the support provided by the Chinese government towards the hosting of APEC 2018. This is by far one of the biggest donation of fleets in the history of Papua New Guinea by any country. The donation includes 50 buses, 30 minibuses and 9 fire trucks.
These vehicles demonstrate, the friendly feelings of the Chinese people to the people of Papua New Guinea, as a true friend. We hope that this small token will be, contributing to the success of the upcoming APEC meeting.
The donation of the fire trucks comes at a time when the PNG Fire Service is struggling with its limited resources to fight fires in Port Moresby and other major centres. The new vehicles will boost the fire department to replace most of its fire trucks, which have been in use for over 30 years.
The White City buses, the mini buses and the fire engines will be a major part of the APEC week. They will play a major role in transporting our 21 economies officials from point A to point B during APEC. They'll also transport the media and other invited guests that are here for APEC from their different venues.
Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
The PNG Accident Investigation Commission is currently going through a painstakingly slow process of getting data from the black box of PX073, which crashed in Chuuk in the Federated States of Micronesia. EMTV News today captured exclusive footage of the flight and data recorder at the PNGTA laboratory in Port Moresby. Adelaide Xerox Curry brings you an insight of the process the PNGAIC officers are going through to unlocking answers to the many questions before PX073 crash landed.
The PNG Accident Investigation Commission is entering a new stage of technology. With the Air Niugini PX073 crash in Chuuk FSM, PNGAIC was given the task of getting data from what's commonly known as the black box or the flight recorder. EMTV News today visited the PNGAIC laboratory, where it's a slow process but one that will have PNGAIC officers trained and experienced to handle such situations in the future. From FSM, the black box was transferred in distilled water in an esky to begin the process of cleaning the salt water from it. Once in Port Moresby, the recorders were disassembled from the outer protective casing underwater. The motherboard and chipboard removed. The chipboard that contains the data is still submerged in distilled water. The silicone protecting the chipboard is removed. This is to ensure once it goes into the oven, the silicone doesn't melt, damaging the chipboard. The chipboard once in the oven between 18 to 36 hours to dry at a low temperature. Rice grains are placed below in the oven and in the tray below the chipboard to absorb moisture. The next process is where PNGAIC is hoping to lead in the South Pacific with the state-of-the-art technology. The mass data downloader will download all of the data before PNGAIC officers will begin the process of decoding the data with STARS and Insight Analyst software. This isn't from PX073, but this is what is expected. The end result will be the voice recording from the captain and the first officer. Just one part of unlocking all the unanswered questions of how PX073 fell short of the Chuuk runway. PNGAIC is looking to buy the complete set of the data downloaders. In a media statement, FSM investigator in charge, Macy Halbert, said he is pleased that PNGAIC is buying the piece of 21st century technology. He said it is vitally important in the future of aviation safety throughout the South Pacific. Adelaide Xerox Curry, National EMTV News.
7 remote island communities in Gasmata, West New Britain, have been provided with a dinghy to help in daily operations. A 23-foot dinghy and 40-horsepower engine costing almost 25,000 kina each were presented by Governor Sasindran Mutuvel. The boats will help schools, health facilities and farmers on the south coast of the island. Governor Mutuvel says despite the challenging financial economic times, the provincial government will maintain funding to priority sectors.
Walango Primary School na Maring Ring Community na Akural Mama Anato Mama na Kalakin Community na tulong Abyo Community na Ayuet Mama Group. So this is 7 group mimi by supporting all this la board meet up finish board to free for suppose you think also government giving na go free. And Musa operator and by needing money lo buying fuel and by needing money lo maintenance lo this labor. So me like also community bumna people agree lo how people can use in this labor for the benefit of everybody. You know also personalized go long benefit lo on la mantaso. But at least community and me benefit.
The Bulalo District is looking at improving the distribution of royalty payments through a better partnership with mine developer Harmony. Both parties say over the last 6 years, their resources have been stretched too thin without any noticeable impact in towns like Wau and Bulalo. Over the next 6 years, their aim is to improve roads, electricity and health services.
It's still early days, but yesterday the Bulalo MP and company executives from Harmony traveled to Wau for a quick visit. And while the discussions are still ongoing, the general consensus is that both the district and the mining company need to refocus their resources on projects that have lasting impacts.
We are now taking actions on it.
And this is the first time in 6 years that both the district and the company have come together and agreed that they're spreading their resources too thin.
So we took the time today to have a look around, had discussions, and we have a follow-up meeting next week with our 5-year development team so that we incorporate their plans for the next 4 years.
Bulalo MP Sem Basil has since asked Harmony to take partial responsibility of building concrete roads in Wau, the old mining town neglected for years since large-scale mining resumed in the Morobe province. The district has already spent money on concrete roads in Wau town. It's a slow, expensive process.
My district board has passed a resolution that all royalty money that comes out of Hidden Valley and is shared with the provincial government will be put into infrastructures in Wau, especially doing up the concrete on the streets and later on followed by street lights. And
after the discussions yesterday, both parties will now be looking at development plans that take into account the district plans and their own budgets. And those plans include rural electrification as well as the refurbishment of the hospital. Scott Waide, National MTV News, Leh.
The Vision City Mega Mall in Port Moresby today hosted its third Trade Expo. The Trade Expo saw different business houses setting up stalls at the mall ground floor to showcase their products and services. CHM Vision City Manager Noel Gann says the Expo helps them showcase products and promotions that they are offering to their clients.
The Vision City Mega Mall ground floor was packed with customers today as they browsed the stalls to see products on display. The stalls at the main entry was Deltron, Max, CHM, RH and One Talk Rewards. When MTV asked about the type of products they have to offer, this is what Roslyn Aini, a sales representative of Deltron, said.
Right now in our booth is laptops, cartridges, speakers, phones and also memory cards as well that we are selling here in our booth. Most of the price that we are displaying right now, they're on promotion prices. Basically, some of the things that we have on the what, especially the laptops, we do service on them as well. This Trade Expo that we are having right now, it's purposely to promote company branding and whatever that we have in the shop that we have right now, yes.
CHM also has some new products in store for its customers. One of the products is a power bank television set, a television set powered by a charged power bank. CHM Vision City Manager Noel Gann was proud to announce some of the products and promotions they offered.
And then that is good for 2 movies, but good also when you bring it to the villages and bring power bank to picnic, you can do that one. And then we have also the Wexler. The Wexler items, which is consist of the Android phones, we have the tablet PC, we have the what's this? Computers, which is the price is very good.
Max Trackers were also there to showcase its products, ranging from safety boots to bags and sets for trackers, including AK display.
For outdoors and mountaineers, security firm, travelers and tactical gears. And also you can visit us at first floor Max here at Vision City Mega Mall.
The Trade Expo starts today and will end on the 20th of this month. Rayon Lakingu, National MTV News.
You're watching Wednesday's news. We'll be back with more after these messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. Coop College recently hosted the Gerhu School's Math and Science Quiz in Port Moresby. Secondary schools in the Gerhu suburb were invited to participate. Chair of the quiz competition, Jonathan Kokomani, said the quiz competition allowed students to interact with neighboring schools while benefiting from a learning experience.
Coop College decided to host the first Gerhu School's Maths and Science Quiz along with their annual science fair that has been running for 3 years.
Inter-school Math and Science Quiz competition hosted by Coop College for schools that are close nearby.
While invitations were sent to all secondary schools in Gerhu, only 2 schools participated in the quiz competition, Tokara Secondary and St. Charles Luanga.
Unfortunately, Gerhu Secondary, Pomnets and Charles Luanga withdrew, so we have now with us Tokara Secondary and St. Paul's Primary competing with lower secondary.
The quiz competition was divided into lower secondary and upper secondary. And the Coop College students played a very welcoming host and in the end came out winning the quiz competition. Adelaide Turks Kari National, EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, just 4 weeks out from critical congressional elections, a Team Trump has lost a major political player. Nikki Haley, America's uncompromising ambassador to the United Nations, announced her shock resignation. Amid rumors about why she's quitting, Donald Trump addressed speculation that his own daughter could replace her.
She's a one-time critic of the president's who went on to become one of the few women in his cabinet, a hawk who championed America first.
For those that don't have our back, we're taking names.
But today, just 4 weeks before the midterms, Nikki Haley announced her surprise resignation. President Trump called the cameras into the Oval Office and made a show of it.
I thought this would be an appropriate way of doing it because when you write it out on a piece of paper that, you know, Ambassador Haley will be leaving and you say nice things, people say, well, what's going on?
The announcement reportedly caught even some top administration officials off guard, though the president says Haley actually broke the news to him 6 months ago. From Haley herself, no concrete explanation on why she's leaving.
No, there's no personal reasons. I think that it's just very important for government officials to understand when it's time to step aside.
And even before reporters could ask, she made a point of saying this.
For all of you that are going to ask about 2020, no, I'm not running for 2020. I can promise you what I'll be doing is campaigning for this one.
Her goodbye singling out 2 people, both right there in the room.
I can't say enough good things about Jared and Ivanka. Jared is such a hidden genius that no one understands. And Ivanka's been just a great friend.
And tonight, in the Washington buzz, among the names being floated as a possible Haley replacement, Ivanka Trump.
I think Ivanka would be incredible. That doesn't mean I'd pick her because you'd be accused of nepotism, even though I'm not sure there's anybody more competent in the world.
Florida is bracing for what's predicted to be the strongest hurricane to strike the region in more than a decade. Hurricane Michael has now been upgraded to a Category 3 storm, and it's packed with winds of nearly 200 kilometers per hour as it treks towards the U.S. A cruise ship is already experiencing the powerful storm out at sea.
Tonight, the ferocity of Hurricane Michael seen firsthand on the high seas. The awesome display of raw power captured in slow motion. Those outer bands lashing the Empress of the Seas cruise ship off the coast of Cuba as Michael roared by.
We battled 13 to 15 foot swells last night. There were heavy rains at point. There was lightning out in the distance.
We're told all passengers are safe tonight. Michael now taking aim at the Gulf Coast. The surf already churning near Key West. In Cedar Key, sirens announced mandatory evacuations. In the storm zone, shelves are emptying, supplies dwindling, first responders filling the tanks of their ambulances. Florida's governor calling the storm monstrous.
The storm is dangerous, and if you don't follow warnings from officials, this storm could kill you.
In Apalachicola, we met Ben Kugel getting his boat to safety.
Why so important to get it out of here?
I don't want to sink. I just hauled it back to Georgia and rebuilt the thing. Spent 2 years on it.
The view from space, massive. Michael is now some 400 miles across. The storm already wreaking havoc in Central America. Heavy rains and mudslides in El Salvador, and a race to save the driver of this ambulance in Nicaragua. More than a dozen killed in the region. Back here in Florida, we found Les Stevenson boarding up his Tallahassee music supply store.
And what time do you guys think you'll be closing up shop for good? As soon as we finish these boards.
He's taking this seriously. This is the first time he's had to do this in more than 30 years.
Turkish police are set to search Saudi Arabia's consulate building in Istanbul as the mystery of the missing Saudi journalist deepens. Jamal Khashoggi, who's openly critical of the Saudi kingdom, disappeared after entering the building a few weeks ago, and new pictures are raising even more questions.
Tonight, that surveillance image revealing the last time the Washington Post journalist was seen amid growing fears about his fate. The image showing Jamal Khashoggi as he walked into the Saudi consulate in Turkey. But according to his fiancée waiting outside, he never came out. Reports in Turkey tonight, 15 Saudi nationals flew into the airport in Istanbul and were inside the embassy when Khashoggi vanished. Turkish officials fear he was killed. The White House criticised for not acting sooner.
Mr. President, have you spoken to the Saudis about the missing Washington Post columnist?
I have not, no I haven't, but I will be at some point.
Jamal Khashoggi is a US resident but a Saudi citizen. Protesters gathering outside the embassy, which opened its doors to try to prove Khashoggi isn't there, but also saying some cameras at the back weren't working. And as a critic of the Saudi Crown Prince, there are fears he could have been abducted or worse.
The Saudis calling the claims they killed a Post journalist outrageous and absolutely false, but both the Turkish and American governments want answers.
You're with National MTV News this Wednesday. We go for a break. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. See you shortly.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with Rugby League. Engamioks back rower Eddie Duffer has been named captain to lead the PNG under-23 resident side, while Edwin Ipape was announced as vice captain. Both have said they are preparing well to take on a strong New South Wales countryside.
The team has been in training at the National Football Stadium for the past 2 weeks. Defence has been one aspect that has been their prime focus. Inaugural captain Eddie Duffer is excited to lead the team this weekend and is looking forward to the challenges.
I feel happy about being a captain. Thank you, PNGTA, management and coaching staff to appoint me as a captain. Feel happy to take team forward. A lot of experienced players like Mukapita, Brendan Nima, Edwin Inabe. Yeah, looking forward for the
Vice Captain Edwin Ipape will play a pivotal role this weekend, being named at 5'8".
My role will be a lot more easier because I've got some talented blokes here, so I think my job should be a lot easier on Sunday. 5'8", it's a big role, and I'm preparing to lead the boys out there and just to direct them where to go, and at least leading them up in front there in the field.
Nikki Haley, who has had an outstanding season with the Goroka Lahanis, has been named as player number 14 and will come off the bench as a hooker or halfback. He is certain to make an impact when given the chance to play.
Coming in at half and filling in at hooker as well, but we have a good, strong half pairing at the moment. It's Edwin Ipape and Mark Tony, but you know we got Nikki on the bench to fill, especially in the hooker and halfback role. So find some combination for the game coming up this weekend. So it's a privilege and honor to have some other boys from another clubs to join the team, and it's like a family. So
the inaugural match will take place on Sunday at the Oil Search National Football Stadium. Elijah Levet, National MTV Sports.
And tickets for this weekend's match between the PNG residents under-23 side and the New South Wales countryside have been made affordable for many to purchase. They've started selling tickets last week at all Ticketmasters outlets in Port Moresby.
We've been mindful of the events that have happened over the last couple of weeks and the events that are happening afterwards as well. So our prices, we've put it to tailor the level of the people and the buying power of the general public who support the game. So we've reduced the prices down to a price that we think is affordable and that can get people to come and support their favorite player, their team, their Papua New Guineans in Port Moresby, and players from all the provinces are playing in this team. So we expect Papua New Guinea to come. So we want to make it comfortable or affordable to them, more importantly.
From a venue perspective, we're ready to host this event as we always have been, and we're expecting a great outcome from this day. The game is Sunday, the 14th of October. We have 3 games, as mentioned by Stanley. Gates open at 11. First game kicks off at 12. Second game kicks off at 1:15. And the third game kicks off at 3 o'clock. So between 4:30 and 5, the games will be over, and everyone will be able to make their way safely home.
To rugby union now, National Rugby women's team, the PNG Palais, will leave this Friday for Australia for an invitational in Queensland. National coach John Larry says the event will be used as part of the team's preparation for this year's Oceania tournament in Fiji in November.
Now, I spoke earlier to Captain Cassandra Simpson and a couple of other teammates, or the older Palais, who were out for some time, but are now back in the team in preparations for this week's showdown in Noosa, Queensland, where they will play against some of Queensland's top rugby teams. Now, here's what Cassandra had to say, as well as Margaret and Kimi.
Yeah, having Kimi back now with that experience that she has and knowledge of the game, I know that she'll make a great impact on the ladies and the team too. Being the captain now, what we're trying to apply to the young girls now is to build them up and encourage them and give them confidence. Yeah. The whole idea is to it's like a lead-up match where get stronger, and our aim is to reach the top first.
I think it's exciting, especially going and I'm gonna go play alongside some new girls. It's a new mix. Personally, I think it'll be a new challenge coming back after a long break, but we'll see what we can do as a team, working together and getting the combinations right. I think we'll do all right.
And it feels great to be back in the team. It's been a while since I haven't been with the team. I've been out for a couple of years, but I'm very happy and privileged to be back in the team. And it's been a very hard challenge because you're running up against some young talents who are more stronger and fitter than you. So I'm still making my comeback, but I'm happy that I'm in the team.
Now, after the competition in Noosa, Queensland, the team will come back to PNG and prepare for the Sydney Sevens, where they will stay in Fiji for a few days before travelling to Fiji, Suva, to attend the Oceania Championships. Godwin Eki, National MTV Sports.
And don't go anywhere. Trukai Sports will continue with more after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Tennis bad boy Nick Kyrgios has had another mid-match meltdown for the third year in a row at the Shanghai Masters.
In a near-empty stadium, the chair umpire warned Kyrgios about his half-hearted efforts.
Nick, what? Our point was really borderline. What? I don't care, bro. Well, what can you do? Look at the score. Maybe it's my tactic. Maybe. I don't care. You have no right to tell me that it's poor. No, I didn't say anything. I just said it's borderline. I just said borderline. 15-11. Nick, that's enough. That's enough. Yeah. We don't talk about that anymore.
The Aussie number 2 losing his cool, and no surprises here, the match as well in 3 sets. Kyrgios was accused of tanking in the Shanghai Open 2 years ago and was fined last year for unsportsmanlike conduct.
And that story wraps up Trukai Sports for this evening. We go for another break. Up next, the weather details for Thursday. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
I'll look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, mostly fine for Port Moresby, Daru, Kerma and Alota, fine becoming cloudy for Popondetta. To the Momasa region, fine becoming cloudy later on for Ley, cloud with some showers expected in Wau, fine and sunny for Madang, some showers expected in Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, some showers expected in Lorengau, cloud with some showers later on for Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe, and a few showers expected in Buka. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundia, Mendi and Wabeg, all these major centers can expect a few showers over the next 24 hours.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's the news, sport and weather for today, Wednesday, the 10th of October, 2018. On behalf of the entire MTV News team from right around the country, pleasant viewing. Good night.